So, Mike, are you ready for another podcast?
Yes.
What is the name of our podcast, Mike?
Are we actually recording?
Yeah, we are.
You probably should have told me that.
Why? Are you not ready?
Oh my gosh. I'm still memorizing my script.
Don't let them know that.
Yes. Well, we are the only podcast to stand behind the Kool-Aid flavor, Make America Grape Again.
I drink it.
Yes.
Wait, I love that it's Kool-Aid though. Like there's so many repercussions from that statement.
Yes. I stand behind it.
Good.
Yeah. So here we are, Mike and Adam's Dreams and Feelings, episode 13.
Is it?
Oh, wow.
Super Lucky 13?
Yeah, the Halloween episode.
Ooh. Are Christians allowed to celebrate Halloween?
Only if you dress up as an apostle.
I was going to say only if you're a Methodist.
Only if you're a Methodist.
So, I'm Adam, that was Mike, and we have a guest on.
I'm Amanda.
Are you sure?
Usually.
Are you asking or telling?
It's a debate.
It's a debate. But speaking of like dressing up for Halloween, did you guys? So I'm assuming that you guys all grew up going to youth group, right?
I did.
Did your youth group do a lame like harvest party instead of Halloween party?
I never went.
To Halloween parties or harvest parties?
Harvest parties or the church having party in general?
Wow.
Yeah, I'm a normal person.
Then there was Trunk or Treat.
What is trunk or treat?
Yo! Would they put candy in trunks and you just walk around like a parking lot?
Yes.
What? What?
I forgot about that.
So, yeah, everybody in the church just fills their trunk with candy, and you just walk up to different trunks, and you're probably dressed up as Moses or a Christian who's conservative. Any one of those costumes.
Like Pence.
Yes. And you just go up and you get candy. And I feel like it's a shortcut to having to walk to houses.
So it's more of an economical investment rather than like a stance investment.
Yes.
Man, my parents were super cool and they just let us go trick or treating. My parents loved it. And my parents would hand out candy. And my mom would legitimately frighten small children by like obsessing by how cute they were.
Oh my god, that's perfect.
Yeah.
See, I was part of the whole Halloween walk to different houses thing, and I never really thought about the spiritual repercussions. The only thing I remember is my pastor saying, "This is why I don't like Halloween." He's like, once I was in seminary, and a bunch of friends from the dorm next door got out a Ouija board, and they started playing on the Ouija board, and then someone saw something that was scary, and they ran away, and they never came back. So now on Halloween, I just stay in my room and hide till the day's over.
What?
Wait. I have so many questions. Like, they ran away and they never came back ever? Like, they just
Like to
disappeared?
college?
I guess to college.
Like,
They quit college.
Yes.
and so now the pastor, like, hides every Halloween. Oh.
Yes. Either mentally, physically, or spiritually.
So he second-handedly had fright.
Yes.
From their experience.
Yes.
Bro.
So that's my whole entire Halloween experience.
Okay. What was the lamest costume you've ever had?
Yo.
Oh, gosh. It's always when you forget to bring your costume to school. And then they do a costume parade.
And you're just...
And it's just you.
And Mike is just in a t-shirt and some pants.
And they're like, "What are you?" "I'm a reporter."
Is that what you said?
Yes.
I'm normal.
Yes.
That's great. What did the lamest costume, Amanda?
It sounded like a lame... Okay, well, it was lame. But there's one, I was little. My daddy got like asked, so forcefully bought me this scarecrow costume. But it was like a full, use up to up. And you're like a and he made me wear it for 2 years in a row, and I hated it.
That's beautiful.
It was the worst. I mean, looking back now, it's like, wow, good times.
I want it.
It was horrible. Everyone's like, "You're a scarecrow," blah, blah, blah. It like wasn't...
Was that English?
I hate you.
the peanut sound.
It's the peanut sound. Wah, wah, wah. The worst costume I ever had, I was supposed to be, my mom made it for me, and I was supposed to be a knight's outfit, but it was just super glittery, and everyone just assumed I was an astronaut. But I looked good.
Or Randy Savage.
Or Randy Savage. Or Edward from Twilight. But the worst costume I've ever seen ever was my little brother, when he was like 6 years old, had a Poe costume from the Teletubbies.
Oh.
It was beautiful. It was so good.
Oh, wow.
He was adorable.
What would you say would be the most impressive costume?
That I've ever seen?
Mm-hmm.
Like, excluding, like, cosplay?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, man. So, a couple of my friends at MCC, they got a bunch of cardboard boxes, and they painted it to look like Tetris blocks. So there's, like, forums. They had all the pieces, and they would run around MCC blocking hallways and, like, elevator doors with the Tetris blocks.
Nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty good. That, or one time in high school, these people dressed up as Pac-Man and the Ghosts, and they were running around the hallways. It was pretty cool.
I put a cardboard box over my head and taped a keyboard to it, and then I threw Viagra ads at people. I was a computer with spam.
I was really afraid of where that was going, and now I'm really happy.
Yes.
Oh, man.
God.
That's great. That's really good. Anyways, so enough costume chat. What do you got for us, Mike?
Oh, well, I'll go.
Yeah, do you want to go? Do you want me to go? Do you want Amanda to leave? That could work.
I could leave.
Yeah.
Speaking of scary things, have we talked about the evil clown epidemic?
Yes.
Yo.
Let's talk about clowns.
Yes.
Only in America would this happen.
Yo, it's 'cause
Only in America.
Oh, I was talking about Hillary and Trump.
Same! My statement applies.
it's the weirdest moment of life imitating art.
Yes. Oh, but anyways, yes, there's clowns that are horrific walking around.
I'm just saying, if we had a better Batman, this wouldn't be happening. He's definitely slacking.
Yes. As if America is not prone to violence enough.
Right, we need something scary on the streets for us to shoot at.
Yes.
We needed moving targets.
Yes. Maybe they're, I don't know, with all the scandals with cops, maybe it's just something for the cops
it's a conspiracy by the police to get us on their good side.
Yes.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Could you imagine?
Yeah.
But I've never heard more disregard for human life since people talked about, like, the Syrian refugee crisis. Like, I've never heard people be more vehemently upset and want to kill another human being than people talking about the people dressing up as clowns. And that scares me. I'm like, yes, that's a clown, and yes, that's freaky, but that is a human being still.
Yes.
Like, we can't just go out and hunt and kill them. That's so messed up.
Yes.
That's so messed up.
Right, and they're doing it for attention.
Right.
They want to be cool.
You know that they wear fedoras when they're not dressed up as clowns.
Yes.
You know, sitting on their computer, writing up campaigns for Dungeons and Dragons, eating Funyuns. They're totally
listening
harmless.
to ICP.
Exactly.
Do you think all the clowns are, like, together, or do you think it's just, like, clowns inspiring other people to be clowns? Or is it, like, a coalition of clowns?
I would like to think it's a coalition of clowns.
An underground network, if you will.
Yeah.
Do you think they have shifts? Like
They gotta.
It's possible.
Are they that organized?
Yeah.
We should do an investigative report, Mike.
Yes. Clowns in America.
Mm-hmm.
Clownocalypse. I struggled with that word. Clown-apocalypse.
No, I'm serious. This could get some Pulitzer attention, Mike.
Yes.
This is where the hard-hitting reporting is.
We'll show up on BuzzFeed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. BuzzFeed. Quality reporting of the internet. That's so. I mean, how do you guys feel? Do you guys feel safe knowing that there's clowns out there? I've literally never even thought about it.
I mean, I feel like maybe there's like 1%, less than that, like maybe like 2 clowns that are actually like willing to do bad things to people, and the rest are just for attention. So if I ever ran into a clown, I'd probably just be like, yo, what's up, homie? And try to like play off that, like I'd be terrified, but I'd try to like play it off like they're just like an old friend.
I think the only way to beat these clowns is to out-entertain them.
Yes! They do a song and dance?
Yes, if you see a clown, you need to be 100% more interesting than they are.
Right. So, what would you do, Mike?
I don't know, it would involve like shooting out streamers and juggling.
Right.
Walking on stilts.
Mike's like, my moment has come.
Make that clown look normal in comparison.
Right.
Rend to clown. Wait. I have my stilts. I'll be right back.
Don't go anywhere. See, my I have a similar philosophy, but maybe a little bit of a different direction. And mine is to out-weird the clown. Yes. So, whether that's, like, kiss them on the nose, whether that's getting a little too,
What if you dressed up
friendly
as a gypsy girl and just danced around?
Yes, with little tambourines on my hands. I feel like that would work.
Yes.
I'd probably run away.
Yes.
I'd probably run away.
I would just follow it around and just to see what would happen.
What if we did a reverse, where we showed up at circuses as scary, normal people?
So, just show up as ourselves?
Yes.
I feel like that's normal and not outside the realms of impossibility.
See how they like it.
I think they would appreciate it. The circus business is failing, right?
Yes.
With the advent of Netflix.
Yes.
People don't need to go see C.T. Barnum.
Yeah. Oh, that's so
C.T. Barnum is a famous circuser.
Wow.
Brother of B.T. Barnum, perhaps?
Yeah.
So,
Thanks, Sam.
You're welcome.
So, the only thing I can bring up that's fun is, do you know the secret pets of comic book heroes?
Like, what does Superman call his dog? Crypto?
Crypto.
Yeah.
But apparently there's a lot more.
Oh, shoot. Oh, I know Batman has a dog named Ace.
Ace.
Yeah.
I just learned about that. I didn't know the dog had a name.
Yeah.
So, it's a dog. It's a German Shepherd. Originally it was a German Shepherd. Now it's a Great Dane.
Now he's a bat dog.
Yeah. He used to wear a mask.
Yeah,
you don't want to know his identity.
right. You can't risk someone knowing a dog's identity.
And I'm not even really sure what his purpose was in the comic books. But did you also know Supergirl had a pony
No.
named Comet?
I'm gonna die.
No.
A pony?
Apparently this pony had super strength,
Of course.
flight, and liked oatmeal.
That's so specific.
Yes. There's a whole website on this. Yeah. Did you know Wonder Woman had a kangaroo?
No.
Yes.
No.
She would ride it.
No.
There's pictures on Google. It's true. Named Jumpa.
Jumpa.
Yes. Jumpa the
Jumpa.
Kangaroo.
Is
Yes.
Are there any like male superheroes with like crazy animals, or they also have dogs?
Let's see.
Yeah.
Aquaman has a large seahorse he rides around
it's true.
named Storm. Take that, Marvel.
Yeah, take that. There's a character in X-Men named Storm. He's a Marvel character.
The Flash has a turtle.
No.
Named What's It?
What?
What's it?
Yes.
That's amazing.
Do you remember who Throg is?
No.
That's Thor's frog.
That's why I didn't know. It's not real.
Look up Throg.
The son of Odin.
Yes.
The son of the Allfather.
Yes.
The wielder of Mjolnir.
Yes.
The bringer of Ragnarok has a pet frog.
Well, actually, I think in some stories, Thor turns into the frog.
No way.
And he wields the hammer.
That's amazing.
The Falcon has a falcon
Okay.
named Redwing.
That was kind of
That one.
expected.
The Inhumans Do you know that dog they have?
Yeah. He has superpowers.
Yeah. His name is Lockjaw. And it's I can't think of what breed it is. It's like a pug or something, or a British bulldog. I don't know. It's like it drools constantly. Yes. And you know, Spider-Man has a Yorkshire.
A Yorkie? This isn't real.
Yeah, it's named Ms. Lion. And apparently in the comic, the dog likes to pee a lot.
Is it like his dog or is it Aunt May's dog?
I don't know whose dog it is, but he's known as Spider-Man's dog.
That's crazy.
And then, do you remember the dragon that Pride?
Yes, Kitty Pryde. His name is what
weird name. You'll never remember.
No. It's something Bow.
You're so close. Lockheed.
There it is. Yes.
She's not already beast enough.
Right. She needs a dragon. Well, he's not like a dragon. He's like an alien or something, right? Yeah, he's pretty cool. So, I mean, I guess that begs the question: if you could have a superpowered pet, what would it be, and what superpower would it have?
Oh gosh.
Right? Real questions. Hard-hitting questions that we're super prepared for. What? Oh, okay. It looked like you were like... I was talking to Amanda, and it looked like she was ready to say something.
I would choose my favorite animal, but it's so basic, you know?
Well, speak louder.
I would choose my favorite animal, but my favorite animal is like pretty basic.
Which is?
A fox.
Why is that basic?
I feel like a lot of people's favorite animals are foxes.
I don't think I've ever met someone who said that their favorite animal is a fox.
It's a very cool animal.
It is cool.
It was
so like stealthy.
They would steal.
Like they're there and I'm like...
Swiper, no swiping.
Yes.
So what would your fox's superpower be? Right?
Wow.
But it also can't be like something like super obvious or even super helpful. It's got to be kind of like, oh, you did it again. You know what I mean?
I feel like I don't know. This is going to reflect poorly on me. I was going to say klepto fox that would just randomly bring me stuff that would steal from other people, but like...
I feel like that's appropriate. So essentially you want Swiper.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I'll just like be surprised, like random stuff, and also I'm like, haha. Joke's on you guys, my fox stole your stuff.
That's horrifying.
I know. That's what I didn't want to say.
I actually appreciate that a lot.
Yes. I want an invisible unicorn that I try to tell people exists.
Right.
And they're like, the invisible unicorn did it. Right, Mike.
Right. Stop with those drugs. What would his name be? Rainbow Dash?
Invisicorn.
Invisicorn! It's like it'd be your arch enemy.
Yes.
But like...
Best friend.
Yeah, frenemy.
Yeah.
I think for me, I would want something super unsuspecting. And my parents recently got a rabbit, and he's pretty adorable.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like a rabbit would also just be perfect for like a pet that has like a superpower, because you wouldn't be ready for it. You'd be like, oh, look at that rabbit, it can't do anything, and then suddenly it can just bite your arm.
Yes. Run away.
Exactly. So I think for me, its power would either be a toss-up between, have you guys seen Monty Python and the Holy Grail? The rabbit that like kills everybody. So it would be like that. Or I think I would like my rabbit to just secretly be a supervillain. But because it's so small and cute and innocent, it can't actually do anything. It just has aspirations of being a supervillain.
Yes.
But it's eternally suffering because it can't.
Yes.
And I would name him Dr. I don't know, something...
Dr. Buttons.
Dr. Buttons.
I feel like these are reflections on who we are as people.
Yes.
I feel like that's pretty accurate.
Like, I keep trolling people with mine, especially because I want a sloth. And I tell my villains, you wait.
You just wait.
You just wait.
3 hours.
Yes.
3
He's gonna
hours.
get you.
Just wait. Just wait. 2 more seconds.
Yes.
I swear, he'd be here. Would he also be invisible?
Yes.
Like, just all your pets are invisible.
I'm wondering, what about characters like Animal Man? Would they get a child?
Like a human.
Yes.
Human sidekick.
No, a human pet. I feel like that's
A
slavery.
human pet.
I feel like that's horrifying.
Come to me, little Jimmy.
I just want pixie sticks. That's dark. That's actually really incredibly dark.
Yes. I expect to read that story arc soon.
Yes. Marvel, looking at you. Word. Okay. So let's talk. So now that we went from a lighter topic, let's talk about a darker topic. And about making movies grittier, but better.
Ooh.
So, have you guys seen a movie called Hancock with Will Smith?
Yes.
It's a negative.
It's negative. So it's a good movie. So essentially, Hancock is like the only like superpowered human in existence, but he's driven kind of insane by the fact that he can't like save everybody. So he like spirals into like this depression, and he's like an alcoholic and like he does drugs and like, but like the world like desperately needs him. So it's like this kind of this balance between him having to like save people and like struggling with his own humanity. But he meets like this girl who also has superpowers, and it turns out they're like aliens, and it's kind of weird. But the movie kind of ends happy. But the original script for Hancock was that it wasn't supposed to end well. Like they were supposed to like end up like he was supposed to end up like abusing her, and like he was gonna like try and commit suicide, and only to figure out that he like can't kill himself.
Yeah.
And like so. But they ended up scrapping that version of the movie for a better version, or for the movie that they ended up going with. But I argue that ending would have been better because it would have been more fitting for the character, and it doesn't clean up as nice.
Right, I would say so. The movie you just explained is not the Hancock I remember. I remember he was like kind of klutzy. Like, he was super powered, but he was irresponsible.
Yeah, because he was an alcoholic.
Yes, he was an alcoholic, and like he was just. But I like the grittiness of it. I want to see a failed superhero.
Right.
He seems like more of a Watchmen type character.
Right, 100%. But so another example of a movie script that kind of got scrapped was in the 7th Star. I didn't think because the 7th is the most recent one. The 6th one, which is Empire Strikes Back, right?
Yeah.
With the Ewoks and the shield generator. Yeah. So Han Solo was actually scripted to die at the shield generator, and Luke Skywalker was supposed to have like a psychotic break after Darth Vader dies, and Leia was going to be the only one left to fight the Empire. So, and actually Harrison Ford was the one that came up with the idea of Han Solo dying at the shield generator. And they were all set to move forward with it, but then Lucas was like, no, we're not going to make any money off this, so they kind of scrapped that. But I argue that would have been a great ending to Star Wars. And so what are some movies that have like really happy endings to like movies that are kind of dark that you would like to see changed so that they're like better? And to give you an example, here's mine. In the most recent Toy Story movie, I argue the movie would have been better if they all died in the incinerator instead of being saved.
Whoa.
There would have been outrage.
Yeah,
There would have been chaotic.
Right, but
it would have like rioted.
Right, but how great would that movie ending be? Like,
horrible.
Right, but how great would it be?
It would be horrible.
Why would it be horrible?
It would be so anticlimactic. It's like having a whole entire movie go, then the main character just gets hit by a bus and it's over.
Right.
Like, it's just... What do you mean? Like, what do you mean they all die?
Because it's kind of, okay. Maybe if they didn't all die, but maybe like just Woody survived, or you know,
or like one of them, like they lost the comrade.
Right, and he just drinks heavily for years.
It's a kids movie.
Wow.
Children are watching this. You have them all die.
But like, I feel like there's just like a certain level of like, I don't know. Like, I feel like the movie would have felt more final. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas now it's kind of like open-ended, and they can like make more movies out of it and all these other things. And it's one of those things where it's like, do you want to see something die like in its prime, or do you want to see it like kind of languish and kind of get lame like Hulk Hogan?
Yeah.
Like Hulk Hogan, I'm dead.
Bruce Lee died.
Right.
And now he's idolized forever.
Right,
so.
that's what I'm saying. And I'm saying, like, if they went with the people, the toys, like, getting incinerated in Toy
People would have
Story,
hated Toy Story.
it would have been beautiful.
So many lawsuits.
What? Why?
My children have
Scarred.
PTSD.
Yeah, but you can't tell me that as an adult that wouldn't be a better ending.
Oh, yeah. I would.
No.
It would be like the perfect symbolization of our childhood ending. You know what I mean? And like
Death.
not the death. They're not alive. They're toys.
The movie
You
argue.
are a toy.
Why are they running around talking to each other? Adam.
I would argue that if it had something to do with getting incinerated saved someone else,
Yes.
then that would be beautiful. Like that would
Sacrifice.
that would encompass what Toy Story is about. If they just jumped in and be like, "So long, kids,"
I just died. No. Oh, well, have you seen Toy Story 3?
yeah.
Oh yeah. So that whole ending scene, yeah, I would agree. Like they would obviously have to work it and like make it like feasible. But I'm saying like if they died there, like I feel like the movie would have been good.
Right.
I would have liked it.
Would it end like in Terminator 2 where Woody's thumbs up?
Yeah.
As
he's falling in. So like, yeah, or like if Woody died saving everybody else, like and like everybody else survived and just Woody died.
I can get behind that.
Yeah.
I just can't get behind them all dying for no reason. Just to symbolize an ending to our childhood. Like, that's so dark. Like, wow, like, your childhood's over, like, you're dead. Like, hello?
That sounds like a movie idea, like Toy Story versus Final Destination.
All I can picture is just a half-melted Woody thumbs up as he goes into the incinerator.
Oh my god.
So great. So what do you guys think? What other movies do you think would be better with a darker ending?
Well, let's name some movies that ended or just had like a very kiddie theme.
Finding Nemo.
Finding Nemo. Ooh. That can go in some dark directions.
Like when they're escaping from the dentist's office and they just get hit by a car.
Yeah.
It's just so like.
I'm thinking Nemo gets lost forever, gets like the street youth mentality.
So it's just like another version of Oliver Twist.
Yes. He has to do some tricks.
Right.
Things he doesn't approve of, but it's the only way to survive in the mean streets of Australia.
Right, exactly. And then he gets picked up by a billionaire playboy philanthropist and becomes part of the greatest crime-fighting duo known to the sea.
Little Nemo.
Little Nemo.
You know what would be crazy? A very adult and serious SpongeBob.
Like, how would that...
Like, they talk about, like, dark things of, like, maybe SpongeBob feels hopeless in his endeavor to bring optimism to his friends. Meanwhile, he takes care of his mentally damaged best friend, Patrick. You see him wheeling him around in a chair, feeding him.
His depressed neighbor, Squidward, who can't move. He seems like he can't move past his dead end job, and he feels like he'll never have a wife and kids. And he feels age coming on to him.
And then like
his friend Sandy, who moved here from a smaller city.
He's always loved her.
Yeah.
But can't tell her until she gets the terminal disease.
Right, exactly. What do you think, Amanda? This is too dark.
No. Actually, maybe. I feel like it's gotta have like some sort of like positive relief to it, if it's just like depressing thing. It's like the kid show's so positive, and it's just like an anti.
Yeah, like an anti joke.
Yeah.
But I feel like, I don't know, I feel like it's a very postmodern sort of thing where we don't have a happy ending.
Yeah.
I mean, it's realistic, but there's a difference between not having a happy ending and not having any happiness at
Right.
all.
So have you guys seen The Princess Bride?
Yeah.
Yes.
So the ending to the movie is not the ending to the book. Did you guys know that?
No.
So, in the book, the ending that happens in the movie is there, and then the author says, if you want to keep a happy ending, stop here. But if you want to see how this story ends, keep reading.
Mm-hmm.
So, the miracle that they give, what's his name? The guy with the mustache. What's his name? What's his name in it? Wesley. So Wesley, so the pill that he, that was given to him by Miracle Max wears off and he dies.
Ooh.
Andre the Giant's character, breaks his horse's back and he gets stranded and he starves and dies. And Igneo Montoya, he dies from his stab wounds. And the princess gets caught by the prince and is brought back to the castle and is forced to marry him. And that's how the book ends.
Wow.
Right? Isn't that such a better ending?
When you say better,
Alright.
you know, some of us want to see good prevail.
You're a horrible person.
What? How is that make me horrible?
Better ways to say what you said. Wouldn't that be more realistic ending?
No, better.
Better?
Better.
Alright, I hope your ending ends like that.
Me too.
One of the movies that shouldn't have had a realistic ending was VeggieTales Jonah.
Oh no, what happened?
In the end, Jonah is like arguing with God and like begging for relief.
Oh right,
and
like
it
the
fades
real
out.
Bible, like in the real Bible story.
Yes.
How dare a children's cartoon book have biblical truth?
Yeah. It's so amazing. I mean, it does cut to the kids, and they're like, "We learned our lesson," you know. But the fact that the story ended with the hero depressed.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Good ending.
I think that's good. That's also
Agreed.
That's how it happened.
That's true.
I used to be so inclined to happy endings, but now I'm appreciating more movies that like leave you in like emotional distress.
Agreed.
That's who I am as a person. But
Have you guys seen Seven with it's Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman, and they play these detectives, and they're chasing after this one serial killer that kills all his victims based on the 7 deadly sins. And at the end of the movie, spoilers, he kills Brad Pitt's wife and puts her head in a box, and he like gives them the box. And then there's like a sequence where Brad Pitt's like, "What's in the box?" and it's really funny. Not the situation. The situation's not funny, but the way that he says it is like that. So it's like the ending to this, and that's the end of the movie. Like that movie would be completely different if we like cut and we see that his wife is totally fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like. And so it's just like, I don't know, there's just something to be said about endings that are like darker that I feel like they kind of give off like a sense of finality that I appreciate.
Like No Country for Old Men, where it ends just on a random, not even like the bad guy did the tragedy, but it was a random happening where the hero just died.
Just died, yes. And you're just like, why? Like, why? Or it's just like... Or Romeo and Juliet. Yeah. Like, I don't know. Like, it's a classic for a reason. And, I don't know. There's something to be said about tragedy.
Romeo and Juliet is like, hey, I love you. I'm gonna die for you, even though I know you for like 3 seconds. I'm just heartbroken over this girl. I should forget about her.
Is there a more postmodern millennial story than Romeo and Juliet?
He literally didn't have feelings for his current relationship.
Bill Shakespeare was ahead of his time.
Yes.
Like, think about that. Like, how much does that speak to like the current state of like dating and like in the millennial age? Like, you see these like Facebook relationships pop up like all the time. I don't know. What do you think, Amanda?
That's true. I feel like it's like a very like middle school, early high school that some people like never grew out of. It's like a constant quest for validation and love. She'll do anything
for love.
For anybody.
Yeah, for love.
Just for security.
The empty pursuit of love.
Yeah.
What if Hamlet got all his revenge through Facebook posts?
Like just subtweeting people.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Oh my god.
I hate my uncle.
It's such a good costume.
We should do this, Mike.
Yes.
We'll do it. It's so great. It's just an angsty Hamlet.
Yeah.
With his My Chemical Romance shirt.
Yeah.
Thanks. That's so great. And so I'm basing this conversation off this other conversation I had in this literary criticism class, where we talked about there's this really famous guy named Aristotle. I don't know if you guys have heard of him, but he's like this philosopher.
Never.
Oh, okay. And he said the highest form of entertainment is tragedy. So how do you guys respond?
Have you ever heard of Aristotle?
Yeah, have you ever heard of Aristotle?
How about?
It's true. When things end too nicely, it doesn't make you think.
Right.
It makes you stop thinking.
Right.
But when something's left untied up,
Right.
or makes you think, how's that going to end? It really it continues a conversation. That's why I really like the last Shrek, because it's after Happily Ever After.
I've only seen the first two Shrek movies.
The last Shrek is kind of like a screw you to Disney.
Oh no.
Because it's like, now we're married, life is boring, all of our adventures are behind us. This is what it's like to fall out of love.
Oh no, that's so good.
And not want to be a father, not want to be responsible,
And not make Smash Mouth famous.
Yes.
They're still mad about that. Someone,
Right.
somebody tweeted at the guy from Smash Mouth being like, "How does it feel that Shrek made you guys popular?" And he goes, "We made that song before the movie," and like the guy tweeted back was like, "Nobody cared until after the movie."
And they'll fight you. Like, we'll get into these long arguments about how it was an amazing song before.
You're right. Yeah, it was by the Monkees or something, right? I think.
Oh no, that was
I almost said the Bee Gees. It's not the Bee Gees. There's some British band.
If you're talking about the
original.
Hey Now You're a Rock Star, they wrote that song. But if you're talking about the Then I Saw Her Face, Now I'm a Believer.
Yeah.
Which the Monkees took from Neil Diamond. So.
Oh shoot! Dude, everyone is stealing from everyone.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But so I was gonna bring up just an interesting dichotomy, or this interesting duality. Is you look at the Adam West Batman, and then you look at Christopher Nolan's Batman. Which is the better Batman? It's Christopher Nolan's.
True. But the Adams West Batman is way more prepared.
That's fair.
Shark repellent.
That's fair. Well, Christopher Nolan's Batman doesn't need to worry about sharks because his airplane flies at Mach 3.
Yes. And I think there's autopilot. We're not sure in the third one.
Right. See, that's why I feel like people don't like the third one, is because they have a happy ending.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas I feel like if Batman just had died and Michael Caine didn't see Bruce Wayne and Selena Kyle in France, that would have been better. That would have been better.
I absolutely agree with that. It was tied up a little too nicely.
Too nice. Very cool. Okay. Any last thoughts before we move on?
Oh no, I'm ready for the next thing we're going to talk about.
Okay, someone needs to chop off a limb so this doesn't end nicely.
Yes.
Everyone's your Adam.
I'm pregnant.
I'm not the father. Does Lynn know?
Who do you think the father is?
Lynn?
Dun dun dun.
Okay. Fades to black.
Yes.
Finn.
Yes. So.
Did you have something you wanted to say, Mike?
No. Is it my turn or your turn?
I don't care.
Well, I was going to talk about best actor to play a video game character.
Oh shoot!
But if you don't feel like you know enough about video games, I have a flip around too. best video game version of a rom-com.
So, like, just a video game of a romantic comedy?
Yes. For example, what would be in that game? How would you play? How would you win?
Okay.
The Notebook.
Like The Notebook?
Yes.
I feel like it would be like...
The whole video game would have to make fun of the movie.
Right. Like, it couldn't take itself seriously.
Yes.
I wrote you every day for a year.
Yes.
I feel like it would just end up being a letter writing simulator. Just type
Microsoft Word.
Yeah, it was just in Microsoft Word. That's great. That's so good. Or like, I feel like, would you say that The Breakfast Club is a rom-com?
I would say so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be a cool kind of game where you feel like each of the characters would have like a different ability based on their typeset, and you would then you would have to go on different certain missions and not get caught by like the principal and like the security at the school, and like I feel like it'd be pretty cool. I would play that game.
What about How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days?
I have never seen that movie. Have you?
I saw that movie so long ago.
How did you feel about it?
It's basically girls just being cruel to guys.
That sounds horrifying.
To have them break up with them so they could win bets.
See, if women do that, it's a romantic comedy. If guys do that, it's abuse.
Yes. And the guy's part of it is he had to keep the relationship to win the bet.
What?
Yo.
That's equally...
Which there's an argument that says romantic comedies actually have the worst villains, and they're the heroes. They're the villains because they're the ones that are always trying to break up the relationship, trying to, like in You've Got Mail.
Yeah.
Doesn't Tom
Hanks
doesn't he like screw with their emails and sabotage her? They're always sabotaging people.
Right.
So
they're always sabotaging their own relationship.
Yes. So they're homewreckers, and
Well, what do you think? What do you have a favorite romantic comedy? Pretty in Pink.
I don't know.
Pretty Woman.
I'm just a sucker for all those movies.
16 Candles.
Like all of them. I just love the cliche. I hate myself for it, but I love like the cliche happy ending. Boy gets the girl. Girl gets the boy. There's one I watched that was gonna be happy ending. It was a Nicholas Sparks book, but then the main character ended up getting like shot by his dad. It was pretty dark.
Yes.
But then her son got into an accident, and the guy's heart was given to his son. So there's like some that he just gets shot.
That's weird. That's some like weird Freud stuff going on
He just gets shot by his father.
That's horrifying.
That's pretty sad.
His heart saves a little boy. Pretty Woman is the one where like Julia Roberts, and she's like a prostitute.
Yeah.
So
I like that movie.
the ending to that movie was supposed to be different also. And the original, so in the real movie, he like drives up, climbs up the fire escape, right, with the flowers, and like they become like an item or whatever. In the original script, he was just gonna come, pay her, and leave, and that was the end of the movie.
Yeah.
That was the original ending.
Wow.
And it didn't test well with the audiences, so they scrapped it.
Oh man.
Isn't that great? How dark is that?
Oh. I'm a little jealous. I wish I thought of that.
I watched the movie when I was really young, so I don't really remember like all of it. But
apparently that movie is why a lot of youth actually ran away from home because they thought they could get that lucky, becoming prostitutes on the street and meeting their Richard Gere.
No.
That's so bad.
That's not. No. That doesn't happen.
It should have ended that way.
Right, and then
warned them.
Right. That they would get paid a lot of money.
So How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. I think that would be a great video game where you have to set up traps around your boyfriend's house.
That would be so funny.
Yes.
Could you imagine a whole video game surrounded by that?
Or it's got like a Skyrim level like trait tree where you could like spec into different abilities
Yes.
that would allow you to do different kind of traps.
Or like DVR over his basketball games.
Right.
With the view.
With the view. The view.
Another rom-com. I don't know. I looked up Mel Gibson movies.
Oh no.
What Women Want.
Yeah, because Mel Gibson definitely knows that.
But in this movie, he accidentally is taking a bath, and
wait, how do you accidentally take a bath?
Here's the accident part of it.
Oh no!
A hair dryer falls into the bath.
Does he
and
die?
Gives him the powers to hear what women think.
That's not how superpowers work.
So the whole movie. So as a video game, it could be like a detective first person where you scan women and you hear what they want, and then you have to get things to woo them.
It could be like a classic LucasArts point and click adventure.
Yes.
That's great.
Scan women.
That's how that works, right?
Mm-hmm.
Could you construe that? Let's see, Terminator 2 is a rom-com. Think about it. He spends the entire movie chasing after Sarah Connor, and he fights a bad guy that's trying to take her away from him, and he has to sacrifice in the end for the girl so she can be happy. Terminator 2 is a rom-com.
Or the Guardians of the Galaxy is the best Nicholas Sparks type story.
Right, because they all...
It's about friendships. It's about believing in your man. A mom that dies.
Right.
That sparks an adventure.
Yeah. They hold hands. What?
I liked them.
Which movie?
No, one of them doesn't live. Like the tree doesn't.
No, he gets reborn at the end.
Yeah.
He's a little twink.
Or in Nicholas Sparks' world, it's called He Comes Out of the Coma.
Right. Or his heart gets put into a little boy.
Yo, Dear John though was definitely not a happy ending.
I don't think I've seen Dear John.
In the book, they don't end up together. Like they're like together, and he goes off to the army, and then she like ends up marrying somebody else. And
Right, that's what a Dear John letter is. Like.
Yeah, I know, but like of Nicholas Sparks.
Oh, okay.
Like I'm just saying, like usually they have happy endings somewhat, but like this literally.
Did they make that into a movie?
Yeah, but the movie doesn't end that way.
Okay.
Is
Is Channing Tatum in it?
Yeah.
I feel like he is.
It's Amanda Seyfried and Channing Tatum.
Okay. How does it end?
In the movie, like she gets married, but like he's sick when he dies, and then like her husband dies, and then like you see them like meet up like at a coffee shop. So obviously they end up together. But in like the book, actually it's funny because I didn't even finish reading the book because I just didn't like it. I was like, I don't like this. So I tried reading it twice, like the same part, and I'm like, this isn't a happy ending.
I'll be really, really angry with Nicholas Sparks if his dad didn't die while proposing to his mom. Because that's the only way I could respect his street cred.
What if Nicholas Sparks went all Christopher Nolan and just gave us a gritty kind of like love story?
Yeah. I would love it.
What would it be called?
It would be called,
what do you think?
Gosh.
Like a gritty Nicholas Sparks kind of.
Define that.
Like, I don't know, it'd be a love story, but like, almost like real and like gritty, and like the characters would be like, they're not like perfect, but not like romantic comedy, like haha, I have quirks, not perfect. Like, like the guy is like addicted to painkillers, and the woman has a kid, and
At least we have each other.
Exactly.
I think it would be like a Joker and Harley relationship where they do such horrible things to each other, such manipulation, such life. They're so unhealthy for each other.
Right.
But that's what actually attracts them
To each other.
That's how they figure out they can't live without each other.
And it, funnily enough, ends happily ever after.
Have you guys ever heard of Sarah Dessen?
No.
Okay, so she writes a lot of like very cliche books for like high school girls. There's like one of her books that is about like abusive relationship, and it's basically just like he ends up like beating her, and they're like that's like basically the ending. It's like they don't end up together, but like the whole book is just like their relationship. It's like her one book that is actually like not cliche and like the same as all the other.
That's really good.
So I feel like that's like the same like that's like her Gertie, Nicholas Sparks book.
Yeah.
But all the rest of them are horrible and cliche. They're not horrible, they're just really cliche.
They're just really lame.
They're like, it's like the same book over and over again. Like, troubled girl meets troubled boy, and they save each other.
Puke.
I saw this ABC Family movie called Boyfriend from the Future.
Oh no.
It's about this guy from the future who goes back to learn about the past. Where this girl, and then he falls in love with this reporter girl.
Uh-huh.
And she's set to get married.
Oh no.
But, you know, secretly he woos her over, and the guy she was supposed to marry turns out to be a jerk. Oh my gosh.
Right.
Yeah. And so the only way to get her back is to go back in the past, interfere with history, and probably create a butterfly effect that could ruin the world.
Right. Just so he has a shot at being happy.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yes.
But I want a movie where it doesn't end with him happy. He gets back to the future and he realizes he destroyed humanity.
Yes.
And he realizes that the only way to save it is to go back in time and kill her.
Yes.
How great would that be?
What?
Yo, that's messed up. To kill her?
Yeah, that's the only way to stop it.
Wouldn't that also be, like, interceding with the past?
It would.
That in turn also creates a butterfly effect,
Yep.
just like at a darker scale.
Yep.
So that proposition is literally illogical.
Yep.
You just are a psycho.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you know the Butterfly Effect movie?
Yeah,
See
with
it?
Ashton Kutcher, yeah.
It was supposed to end a very different
Yeah,
way, too.
yeah.
Yo.
It's supposed to be even darker.
Yeah, it's super
I've
dark.
never
Do you
seen it.
know how that was supposed to
Yeah,
end?
like, apparently
Yeah.
he sees a psychic who's told him he's not supposed to exist.
Right.
So he butterfly effects back into when he's in the womb.
Yep, and kills himself.
Yes.
He kills himself as a child.
Yes.
He kills himself as a child. That's how it originally... Have you seen Butterfly Effect?
No.
So it's Ashton Kutcher, he can like travel through time, and he's like obsessed with this girl, right?
I feel like Ashton Kutcher is like a strange actor.
He is.
I was thinking like that 70s show. So it's just like, okay, sorry.
So the only way to like save time is he goes back in time and then like breaks off the relationship because they're like childhood friends or whatever.
Yeah.
But the original, or how it originally was written, he goes back to when he was in the womb and kills himself.
In the womb?
In the womb.
Yes.
How did he kill himself in the womb?
He strangles himself with the umbilical cord.
What? Wait, why was he supposed to exist?
Because every time he goes back in time, he ruins someone else's life. So he finally decides he has to get rid of himself.
How can you strangle yourself? Like, oh, I'm a fetus. I'm just gonna strangle myself.
Okay, that was a very dark movie.
They didn't.
Oh yeah, I guess it's not realistic because he time travels, but
Right. We
It's
don't.
so
we don't
dark.
know. We don't know. Yeah. Right. Isn't that horrifying?
in the womb,
Right.
that's like next level.
Nobody is ready for that. That's not okay.
Right.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh my wizard.
Oh yeah.
That's,
So speaking of Supergirl's pony comet,
Right. Yeah. Let's get happier. It's too dark.
actually, do we have time for spiritual advice you would give to young voters?
Shoot. Let's talk about that. Yeah, we got plenty of time.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Spiritual advice.
So you give to a young voter.
So funny enough, so this situation actually came up IRL. We were campus ambassadors at Brockport. We do this thing every Wednesday where we have like something we call CA lunch, where it's just a bunch of college students. Tom, our boss, brings us donuts, and we just sit in the cafeteria and we just talk. And we hang out. So recently, me and a couple of the other people, the older people, have been convincing people to like register to vote. This has been going pretty good. We've had like 3 or 4 people, like 18-year-old fresh-faced baby kids, register to vote, which is great. But there's this one kid who was just like, my vote doesn't count, it doesn't even matter, I don't like the people I'm voting for, and he was just like, I don't want to register to vote. So we were able to have we had a sit-down conversation with him, and we were just like first of all, we have to believe that God is sovereign over everything, right? And that we've given like this platform to go and vote, and we need to do so under great prayer and under great conviction, and making sure that you know, that who you vote for is who God is convicting you of voting for. And even if the person that you vote for doesn't win, you have to understand that like ultimately God is still sovereign. Like he's that he knows what he's doing. And then we went through like just a bunch of passages that talk about how you know, we're supposed to be in submission to like you know, authorities like Pilate and like all these other people and Caesar, and at the time in the Bible when it was written, and how the Bible says that, you know, we're supposed to be submit to that authority because God is the one that put them in authority over us. And so that resonated really well with him, and he registered to vote. So so what would you guys kind of do? What do you think? I know this is a big deal for you, Amanda.
I'm very passionate about politics.
Yeah.
Oh, really? You've been holding out on us this whole time.
Passionate. Yeah, it's because I get too passionate.
You get the floor for 5 minutes. Go.
Go.
Our government is corrupt, and while your vote really doesn't matter, because the electoral college is just going to choose. As far as the presidency goes, the electoral college is going to choose whatever it wants, anyways.
The electoral college.
I still think it's important to vote.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, one of the reasons I think it's important to vote is that so people can't like yell at you for not voting. Like, oh, your opinion doesn't count because you didn't vote. So at least like vote so like you're not completely invalidated automatically by everybody else who does vote. But on like a smaller scale, like if I don't know.
But what? On a small scale, what?
Get
I feel
deeper.
like either everybody like has to vote, or everybody. Can you imagine if nobody voted? I'm sorry,
It's also not feasible, but if nobody voted, the electoral college would still vote.
Well, yeah, but can you imagine? There's just if people just like stopped like following. I know you just said that you gotta follow the government, but in the Constitution it does say that we can overthrow a tyrannical government. That is in the Constitution. So technically, if we follow the Constitution, then it's not really going against the government if we're following the Constitution and overthrowing the government because it's corrupt. Technically.
Does that?
I would join a revolution. I'm crazy.
And I really wish it was that straightforward, where we all just came together and said, you know, you're a jerk, get out, and the other guy.
Well, no, but it's also important to remember that, like, it's more just like important to remember that, like, you don't have to like settle for like injustice and corruption, and just to have like people care. I feel like a lot of people are apathetic about stuff like this, but like it really affects. And America's such a powerful nation that like what our government does like matters. Like just look at the Middle East, look at what's happened in just various countries. Like I can give so many examples of just America giving like funding to groups that like kill innocent people. Like it happened in Guatemala. Like it happens all the time.
Sure. Iran.
Yeah.
Afghanistan. Al Qaeda.
Yeah. It's crazy.
But it's. I also think that inherently, as American citizens, we have the right given to us by God to enact and vote and interact with government in that way. And while I think we also have to make sure, we also have to look at the Constitution, and we have to look at the founding of our government in the context of which it was written. And our founding fathers knew that. They knew that it was going to be that the Constitution was going to have to be a living document. So the way that they wrote it was designed to be used into the future, and into a future that they couldn't necessarily imagine. And at the time when it was written, it was like these 13 colonies, and like there was less than 10 million people living in the United States, and the amount of people that could actually participate in government was way less. So the Constitution that was given was way more feasible for the population that it was written for and who it was given to. And considering the people that were allowed to vote then, it was way, way, way smaller. It was white. You had to be a landowner, and you had to pay taxes.
And you had to be a male.
I said that.
You said white.
Oh, white. Oh, male. That's it.
It's assumed if you're white, you're a male.
Exactly. Exactly.
Women aren't white.
Right. Exactly. And it was, more of a republic where your vote directly influenced politics. Whereas with the expansion of a country and the explosion in our population, kind of direct democracy doesn't kind of work anymore, because there's just too many voices, there's too many people, and the Constitution kind of needs to change. And I think if, and especially in terms of revolution and violent change,
revolution doesn't necessarily mean violent change.
Right, but I'm saying that's kind of, so the point I was going to try and build towards is, like violent kind of change, like what the Revolutionary War was. I think it kind of works in the context of when it happened, because there was a direct tyrannical threat. Whereas now we need to look for change not in violence, but rather with democracy, and rather with our vote, and rather with social justice, rather than violence.
Yeah.
But like just through voting, like that's not really going to bring a change.
Why not?
Because the system isn't built like that.
Do you believe that God is still sovereign?
Yes. All I'm saying is that, like, if that's like, oh, like I voted, so like that's like where it ends. Like it's not where it ends.
So then we should go to the streets and.
No, I'm just saying that social change
stuff.
like isn't like, oh, I voted, so like that's all I can do. Like that's such a limiting concept or idea.
Social justice, I think, is also an aspect of being. When I say when you're involved with your government, it's more than just voting. Like it's going to meetings. It's going to running for. I think it starts with running for office. I think if an individual really wants to enact change, they should run for office, and I think that's what makes America really great, is the fact that anyone can run for office.
Yeah. Yeah, and most Americans, they don't know who's in Congress and who's in the House of Representatives. Right. Those are the people that make all the mini laws that you actually see day to day.
Exactly.
Like the Supreme Court justices, which are in for life, so like those are really important.
Yeah.
Like, because they determine if laws are like constitutional, which is a big deal.
Exactly. So it's, and, but I think kind of the biggest realization, at least for myself, when I was like 18, 19, that was when Obama was running the first time, I think, against Romney. Was it the second time? Yeah, that was the second time. The first time was against, what's his name?
McCain.
Yeah, John McCain. Real maverick. I don't think I was old enough to vote that time, but I was old enough to vote the second time. I remember just being really passionate about like why we shouldn't be voting for Romney, and like I was just really like, and I was just really just passionate like on Facebook, and just I found that that looking back, I alienated a lot of people like that, and I'm afraid that I'm seeing that like now with a lot of Christians on Facebook, and we're just alienating a lot of people, whereas they're kind of seeing that their political party or their political system trumps being a Christian, or trumps being sorry, pun not intended. It's so unfortunate.
Yes.
Trumps being Trump's being a Christian, and loving your neighbor, and understanding that ultimately, like, our salvation isn't in the government, and our salvation isn't in the authority and the power over us, and our salvation is solely in the hands of Jesus. And and I've had this conversation with people. It's just like, I don't really care who's in authority and government over me, as long as I don't change how I best love my neighbor and how I best interact with people around me.
Yeah. I just am so cynical about the government.
You're how old are you? I'm
21.
21, yeah. So I definitely felt that way too. I was not to say that like you're young, but like as you become.
That's low-key invalidating.
No.
You're like, I'm so wise.
No. I'm saying that like I'm going through that process when I was like 18. And like growing up, I kind of came to I was at the cynical point where I was just like, the government, I'm so mad because I feel like my voice isn't being heard, and I feel like that resonates with a lot of people our age.
They do horrifying things
Absolutely.
to people around the world.
100%.
In the name of caring about people, but it's all in the name of oil and money and greed.
Exactly. So the only way to then counteract that is, I think, on an individual basis.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like loving like the people that you're around. Yeah.
Exactly. So I can't I could spend my time being cynical and angry about the stuff that my government's doing, but if I'm not in turn doing something good and nice where I'm at, then I'm just as guilty.
But also, I think it's like important to like
Absolutely.
bring like the truth,
social
like
change.
the government is, if the government is doing something, then like talk about it. Be like, yo, the government. Just, do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like, I don't know.
And a part of that is, you know, loving your neighbor. So, like, especially with a lot of the racist stuff in our country, like, our government is, for better or for worse, not really getting involved, not really speaking out about it. But I think as Christians, we should then intercede by, you know, going into those neighborhoods, you know, being a light and sharing the gospel. And that will then enact change rather than trusting in our government to enact change.
Yeah, I agree with you.
If we look at the Jesus example, he didn't change his government.
Exactly.
He did not budget from being one iota less corrupt.
Exactly.
He had to create his own kingdom.
Right, exactly.
And I think that's that sheds light on what you're getting when you live on this earth, is you're going to get a world that's probably going to win a few battles.
Right.
But, you know, our hope is in the war.
Exactly. Exactly. And 100% you look at Jesus as a revolutionary figure, and he completely does that, but he does that bloodlessly, and he does that without violence, to the point where when he's getting arrested and Peter cuts off the centurion's ear, Jesus is like, no, put this back. But yeah, so it's just like, I think we need to take that example, that we need to do everything within our power to reflect the love of Christ, so that's with the power of our vote, or whether that's with our engagement with our neighbor, and it just matters, how do we best impact the spheres of influence that we have for Jesus. And, you know, if that means running for government, run for government. If that means enacting social change in neighborhoods, do it. And I think that there's a time and place for protesting, but I don't think there's ever a time or place for violence.
Yeah. I also think, and this is just like a warning, a pride warning, because a lot of people, especially your age and your age, they come at this, things would change if you only listen to me.
Right, exactly.
And the reason things are bad is because you listen to him.
Right, exactly.
And I don't think that's the way to go about it. I think that's pride speaking.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so the only way we're going to change is through listening and through empathy and through actually spending time with the issues. Yeah. And
you know, and I'm 100% like guilty of not of being like that.
Yeah, I'm probably in that generation too.
Well, I mean, you're a Gen Xer, right?
Gen Y.
Gen Y, okay.
Like, why was it? Why was I born?
Why was I born? It's crazy. Yeah, no, for sure. And it's hard. It's hard because, you know, as Christians, I think our heart does break for people, and it should, because it broke Jesus's. But
I think my like general feeling is that like just like the conversations like are really hard about like what's happening, but they're like necessary.
Absolutely.
I just like hate apathy.
Agreed.
And I would say they'd be a lot easier if you kept the extremes out.
Oh yeah.
And talked about like what are we actually looking at here? Because one side comes in like, you southern ignorant racists, and the other one's like, you hippie,
city coffee drinking liberals.
Yeah,
and nothing gets done.
Yeah, nothing gets done
because it's impossible for one side to have all the answers.
Yeah,
and you know, we have to look at every side of an issue. You know, as awful as Trump is, like, I 100% believe that, you know, fiscally, he might have a point. As a human being, he's a horrifying individual.
Define fiscally.
He understands how to run a business.
We won't get into that.
Well, things have, I don't think there has ever been a president where something hasn't changed for the better.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
no, I'm not saying that. I'm like anti, like, of both candidates. Like 100%. They both have very strong flaws.
Exactly. So then I think it comes down to, okay, so then what advice would you give someone?
Gary Johnson. Let's go.
Third party! I wasn't kidding.
I think it comes back to where's your faith? Who do you believe is pulling the strings? And are you in the right frame of mind if you think one side is completely evil and the other side was given the crown of righteousness?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's really good advice.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say, Amanda?
What's the question?
So, like, what kind of advice would you give a young, fresh voter, Christian voter? Have you voted in, like, a general... Oh, shoot.
I was like 17 and a half last
Shoot.
presidential election, yeah.
Saving up.
So, yeah, this is what I got.
Okay, so you're getting the advice. 100%, yeah. And I think the last time I definitely voted out of spite and out of anger and out of my own pride.
But also I think it's like for me, it's just like I personally like morally like can't vote for Hillary, and I also like morally like can't vote for Trump, and like so because of that I'm just like not gonna vote for either one of them.
Sure.
And I just like think, and I like feel that that's okay. Like, do you know what I mean?
Sure.
Like,
Absolutely. Whatever, and I would come...
Vote your conscience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Pray to... And like, I feel like that's something that I wish Christians would say on Facebook rather than, hey, look at this snarky video I found about Hillary, or hey, look at this snarky video I found about Donald Trump. And instead be like, no, regardless of who you're voting for, I want you to be fully convicted and full of the Holy Spirit and just know what you're voting for, and just and I don't need to, just like I don't need to know your convictions about why you do things. All I need to know is that I need to pray for you and love for you and hope that you vote whatever Christ compels you to vote.
Whatever Gary Johnson he decides.
Right. Yeah, and it's I don't know. It's just it's so hard because as Christians we have a certain level of human responsibility, and we are supposed to take care of the earth, and we are supposed to take care of the influences around us, but at the same time it's just the world is so dark and broken that it's just so much easier to give up.
I would agree.
Or fight.
Speaking of giving up, we just heard the Oceans.
We did.
Oh yes. My God.
The Oceans remix.
So Rend Collective, for those of you not in the know, Rend Collective did a cover of Oceans, Where Feet May Fail, by Hillsong, and we're going to do a quick review.
Well, first of all, I want to say Rend Collective is my favorite Irish immigrant cosplay worship compendium. No one beats them in that aspect.
Yes, agreed.
And I have to say that their version kind of reminded me of Lighthouse and anything else they had with a banjo.
Right. Agreed.
You know that part in Oceans that kind of gives you tingles up your spine?
Yeah, with the female vocal. Yeah.
They totally skipped that.
It was later in the song though. It was towards the end, but it's not right at the start.
Like they get rid of that effect, and it's just kind of like a bridge.
Yeah, exactly. Which is interesting. What do you think, Amanda?
I really like that song, like the original version, just like Where Was My Life when I first heard it.
Sure.
So it's like one of those songs, you know. So I liked it. Like I liked the fiddle. That was nice. That had like very good sound. And like I liked the banjo, but I feel like it was all very like kind of aggressive. Like it was like musically kind of aggressive, but also his like voice was also aggressive. So I'm like, yo, something's gotta be like a little less aggressive. I think his voice should have been a little more like smooth and like low key. I guess like it's his voice. Like what's he really gonna do? Just like the way that he was like, I don't know. It was just like a lot. And I was like, I wish it was less.
Punch you if your feet would fail.
Yeah.
See, I loved it. I think I like it more than the original. And it's not because they sounded like Mumford, but there were many similarities with the banjo and the kick drum, the dum 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 that was driving in the song. But I feel like it was, I don't know, it just felt, see, the one thing that I couldn't get around in Oceans is, how hard it is to sing as a congregation and the key that the female vocalist sings it in right out the bat. I think it's like the key is too high, and it's out of pretty much everyone's range. So if you ever have to sing it like at a church or an event or something like that, you need to bring it down a couple octaves. And I feel like the Rend Collective version is way easier to sing, and it's more accessible. And also, it kind of, like with Carrie, you guys know Carrie Job, she does like worship songs. And she's great, she's wonderfully talented. However, sometimes she has this feeling of like she'll sing in keys and ranges that are really hard, and it feels like it's almost a performance rather than a worship song.
Right.
And that's how I feel. That's how I feel about Ocean sometimes.
She also tries to haunt you with the lyrics.
Exactly. And not to say that she isn't wonderful and she isn't a talented musician, and I love her work. I think she's a wonderful worship leader. It's just
Adam gives 30 compliments so that his invalidating statement is like, well, that's horrible.
Yes.
Tactic of Adam.
There's something to think about.
Yeah. But like, it's her voice, so she can't do anything about it. But yeah, that being said, that's why I like the Rend Collective version.
And you know the bassist, that he has the stand-up bass with the pogo stick.
Oh, he's going crazy.
He's going crazy.
Yeah. What were you gonna say?
I like what you said. Like, it just kind of loses like the way that the song makes you feel. It doesn't like that song never really made me feel any certain way. It was just a really fast, aggressive banjo song.
It's something about I don't know. It's definitely. I think the one is like meant to inspire. I feel like both songs kind of inspire different kind of feelings, whereas one is more of a realization of how lost and how that emotion of being found is. Like we're kind of like wandering, and then we kind of realize that God is the one that's leading us, and God is the one that's saving us. God is the one that gives us the power and authority. I feel like the Rend Collective one is like almost like a victory song, where they're just like, this is where I've been, this is where I am now, Jesus has found me, let's celebrate that.
And it's all the same lyrics.
And yeah, exactly.
It kind of reminds me of Duran Duran and Hungry Like the Wolf.
Yes.
And then Real Big Fish did Hungry Like the Wolf, and it lost all meaning.
Those two bands couldn't be more dissimilar.
But great. I know why you're praising it, because you are in the band.
Exactly.
We're all singer number 13.
Exactly.
We're
all in
Group F.
Group F, for sure. But I'm sure that this cover of Oceans is going to be pretty controversial, I think.
I think our friend Caleb will say, I remember when
Oceans was sung by Hillsong.
Yes. The original.
I'm dead.
It's so great. That and the original Ocean song, the only instrumental that's allowed is the piano. The other one is much more inclusive.
I just love sad music, so maybe that's why I like the original ones.
No, definitely, and I
just love emotion.
I would be interested. I would be interested to see a worship service that starts and ends with Oceans, but starts with the Hillsong version and ends with the Rend Collective version.
That's not a horrible concept,
right?
Yeah.
So it's starting off kind of this memory, and then kind of builds up to this crescendo.
Especially if the band is behind a rotating wall.
Yes.
And it rotates in
complete with bonfire.
Oh my god.
All good thoughts.
Yes.
All good thoughts. So, Mike, do you have anything else for us? Or is
oh,
shoot. Oh, no. It's everyone's favorite part of the podcast.
It's exotic food time.
Hello?
And...
Oh, no!
This is... Can you pronounce that? It's tropical chorizos. Chorizos, okay. This is
mystery meat.
Sausage made with wine.
What?
Yeah, it's got wine and garlic extract and pork somewhere.
Pork.
Sugar.
Spanish style, lol.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Yeah, so this is real Spanish style because Wegmans told me it's true. So, try it. Tropical...
What flavor is
chorizos.
it? Why was it open?
I just opened it because I was afraid I wouldn't be able to get it open.
On the pod. Yeah. Well, it's pungently filling the room. I mean, honestly, it just smells like any other gas station mystery meat.
That's the trick.
That being said, I pulled the most bachelor college-aged male move of all time. Me and a bunch of buddies after our campus ambassadors meeting the other night, after a Bible study, like 5 of us went to a gas station and got Slurpees and mystery beef jerky.
Oh, nice. See, that was always my dream, to go to different gas stations and order their version of the burrito.
And rate them.
That was my dream. It's never too late.
We can go across America
Let's do it, Mike.
and get different burritos.
We'll have to stop at least 3 times every state to go to the bathroom.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
So
bon
no stalling.
appetit.
No refrigeration necessary. That's my thing. Like,
No refrigeration needed.
It was in a fridge. So.
it says no refrigeration necessary.
Somebody messed up.
That's concerning.
Okay. So let's do we have a knife or something that we can cut these?
Nah, it's just
No.
all savage.
Yeah.
All savage, you know? It's
Let's
already
do it.
A non-refrigeratable sausage thing with lime.
Mike, how would you... Oh, I'm touching it now.
Oh, no.
It's like attached.
It's like a nunchuck.
Oh.
It's like a natural casing.
So little of me wants to eat this.
This looks really... It looks really good. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty psyched to put this in my mouth.
That's right.
I'm so scared. Pray for me, guys.
Okay.
Wait, I'm gonna just... It smells like...
Tropic.
No. It smells like someone took a pineapple Hawaiian pizza and put it into a sausage.
We're waiting in anticipation.
It's not bad.
Not bad.
I mean, honestly,
Orange.
yeah. I mean, there's probably the nitrates in there.
Healthy nitrates.
Do you just every show you have an exotic food ending?
Yeah, we always do it.
That's my favorite part of this whole. Wow.
This is my favorite exotic food ending we've had yet.
What are you?
Even more than
It's good.
Even more than the black jelly.
See, the black jelly thing was good until I got to the bottom when I realized that there were chunks in it.
That was the grass.
I'll eat anything, but mystery meat just gets me.
Eat it, it's good. It just tastes like meat. Like it doesn't taste like Mike eats them.
Okay.
This is good. It's good. It's very crunchy. It's good. Good job, Mike. That was a good one. So the worst is we had to drink a lobster sauce.
Lobster juice.
Lobster juice.
Oh no.
It was literally a glass bottle of concentrated lobster juice.
Oh no.
Not meant for drinking.
It was gross.
Oh.
And then we ate like these shrimp puff things.
Yeah.
It literally tasted like a mop bucket from an aquarium. It was
Wow.
bad.
I'm feeling blessed now that I got this episode out.
Right? It's not
Joy.
Nah, I actually
Just became a vegan.
Yeah.
So this was episode 13. We went long. We in an attempt to apologize for last week's episode, which went like shorter than normal. We went extra long this week.
Yes.
We talked about important stuff though, right?
Up to probably a gig of data.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes. All right.
So what did you learn today, Mike?
I learned that any worship song played with a banjo instantly turns into a pop song.
What did you learn, Amanda?
Adam's a psychopath that wants every movie to end with death.
That's valid. And I learned that you can't trust anyone running for president, but you can trust Jesus to elect someone to run for president. And that's more than enough.
You didn't notice his teeth glimmered when you said that?
Me or Jesus?
Yours.
Why? Ding. It's perfect.
Adam ends with a motivational statement.
That's what I'm saying. And now...
But Jesus can.
Exactly. So now we have to cut off my arm because it can't end this way.
Mm-hmm.
Ow, my arm. See you next week, friends.
Yes.